pretty. Keep getting water in my thing. Huh? You think? You know what? I was starting to panic a little too. I just kind of like breathe deep and slow. But yeah. Take this for me. I'll go down. You want me to give it to him?
So I don't need to aim it or anything, I just look at it. Come on, we're going on a reef tour. Okay, does anyone want the board? All right. Stay here. What can I do with this board? Oh, I'll take it. You will? Yeah. I thought you had people that wanted it.
I was trying to sell it.
Oh.
Just trying to pay for my trip to
Yeah. Yeah, you had one in better condition. How you doing, dude?
Good.
All right. Where are you from?
Dallas.
Dallas? Dallas or around Dallas?
Well, Frisco.
Frisco? I grew up in Bedford. You know where that is?
No.
It's next to Arlington.
Oh, wow.
Right next to the airport. How about them Rangers?
No.
Almost.
Uh-huh.
So close. You're doing great. What are those wristbands? You've been riding on slides and rope swings? Yes.
Alright, I gotta get all the way in before we
No, you can put them on right there.
Wow, there's a lot of yellowtail. Yeah.
Yep.
What are those blackfish?
Those blackfish are called black durgeons. This type of triggerfish. I'm about to do a little reef tour if you want to follow me, and I'll tell you about all the stuff.
Okay. And there's a lot of, they're those prickly ones that...
Those are sea urchins.
Oh, here.
They look like porcupines. Dan, can I go now? Oh. She's coming? Alright, you don't want this or you do? You coming on the tour?
She's just gonna stick her head in the water just soon. She's my friend.
Okay.
Just like me.
Hi, her friend.
This is Michelle.
Come on in, Michelle.
What am I doing?
You're gonna lay across it just like I'm doing. Yeah, you can yell and stuff.
Are we going away?
Yeah, take your feet off there. Oh my, not like that. I'm just kidding, that's
So
fine.
you gotta bring me back.
When? Right now?
Yeah.
We just left.
I know, but I can't swim.
You
so
don't
I
have to
cannot
swim.
fall off.
Are you from Santa Barbara too?
No, Oregon.
You're from Oregon?
Yeah.
Look up there. You have to do the shaka. Do you do the shaka? All right, come on, we're going to do a reef tour. Yeah, you have to look in the water.
Okay, we can go back now.
Come on, we're going to go on a reef tour. I'm going to show you some cool stuff. Alright, I'm going to start swimming around and I'm going to start telling anybody that's near me what stuff is. If anybody wants to go on a reef tour. Reef tour! Going this way. Oregon, huh?
Yeah.
I've never been to Oregon. It's on my to-do list. Alright, welcome to the board. Scoot down a little that way. I can fit a couple more on here. I'm right here. I'm going to be touring, so I'm going to be...
Is that on video? Are you trying not to keep your hair wet? No, I just can't swim, so I'm holding on for dear life. Then why don't you have a belt on? Because he said to sit in. He told me I was staying near the stairs. Liar.
I never told you that.
No, the other guy.
He's from Australia. You
Don't believe anything he said.
gotta be careful with that guy. Alright, so this is Tanya's camera. I'm going to do a reef tour.
Hi, Tanya. I want to say hi to the camera.
I know. But then she looked, and so I waited.
Okay, I'm ready to go back.
Hold on.
How long is this?
About 15 minutes.
Oh, fuck. I gotta catch a fish.
No
on the other
cursing
side of-
on the thing.
Sorry. I gotta catch a fish on the other side of the boat.
We can't fish inside this crater. Okay. But you have to look down when I'm talking about this stuff. We're on a tour.
With this in my mouth?
Yeah.
No, I can.
Or you can do it without that in your mouth. Alright guys, so reef tour real quick. I'm going to start out with these blackfish. These guys are everywhere out here. They're called black durgeons. It's a type of triggerfish. 10 minutes.
Back Durgeon?
Black durgeons. It's a type of triggerfish. They're all over the place out here.
Their little trigger.
It's on the top of their heads. If they're all black, they've got a white stripe on the top and the bottom. But when they get excited, they start to turn blue. Sometimes they even have an orange head. It's pretty cool. All these black things down on the bottom that look like porcupines are sea urchins. Now we're not allowed to touch anything.
That's alright.
We're not allowed to touch anything in Molokini, but if you're snorkeling somewhere else while you're on your trip and you're in shallow water, you can get close to them. They're really pretty. They're not actually black. They're really dark blues, dark purples. Some of them are silver and black stripes. Really cool. But you never want to touch those because they're sharp and prickly and they'll stick you like a splinter. There's a couple of big rocks over here. It's my favorite spot. There's a couple of really big boulders. There's always a lot of life around these boulders. Sometimes you see some eels over here, but there's always just a ton of cool fish. So straight down we've got these solid yellow fish. Those guys are called yellow tangs. If anybody ever saw Finding Nemo, there's a yellow tang stuck in the tank with him, Bubbles. Every time the treasure chest opens, it says Bubbles, and that's its only line. So, these fish are really popular in fish tanks and aquariums, although they can live a lot longer in the ocean than they do live in those tanks. So, it's a little unfortunate, but what can you do? Oh, this big gray one right below us. With the big yellow eyes and the buck teeth, that's called a filefish. Those guys grind on the coral. They eat algae right off the coral. Underneath this big rock, there's a whole school of big-eyed soldierfish and squirrelfish. These guys are nocturnal. They stay under these rocks, under caves or inside caves and under ledges during the day, anywhere where it's dark. The red ones. Yeah, the big school of red ones that's underneath this boulder. Here's one of the prettier fish that's out here. It's called a parrotfish. No, I just swam away. I want to find another one. No, the yellow and black stripy ones are called Hawaiian sergeants. It's a type of damselfish. As well as all these little black ones with the gray center. Those are Hawaiian dacilus. It's another kind of damselfish. These guys are endemic to Hawaii, which means they're only found in Hawaii and nowhere else in the world. Here's one of my favorite fish out here, right here. That's called the orange spine surgeonfish. I think they look really cool, plus they have a weapon. Those little spines at the base of their tail are actually really sharp, and they can cut into predators. Any kind of fish trying to eat them, other fish trying to bully them. So, they're cool looking and they have a weapon. They're my favorite. Another kind of sea urchin over here. These are called red slate pencil sea urchins. Like I said, we can't touch anything inside Molokini, but at the next spot, usually if I see one of those, I'll go pick them up and show people, because they're not real sharp. They're actually really cool though. When you touch them, you get red stuff on your hands. And ancient Hawaiians used to crush them up and make paint out of them. Paint, yep. Which they would use, I would assume, for war paint or ceremonies and petroglyphs, which are kind of like hieroglyphics in Egypt, except the ancient Hawaiians also, they used to draw on the walls and caves and on cliffs and stuff. Here's a pretty fish down here. That's called a peacock grouper. It's a really pretty fish, but it's an invasive species of Hawaii. Some genius introduced that fish here so that humans could use it for a food source, so that we wouldn't replenish the reef fish, only to find out later that it has a toxin which makes people sick, so you can't eat it, and so now it just eats the reef fish. So in Hawaiian it's called a roi. Excuse me. It's called roi, R-O-I. And all the spear fishermen, they have contests once a year called the Roi Roundup. They go out there and they get as many of them as they can. Clean up the reefs.
What did they do to them?
They shoot them with the spears and use them for bait or chum or something.
There was a long, like, kind of bluish silver.
That is a coronet fish.
Oh, okay.
They're related to the seahorse.
Is there someone there that can help me with my mask?
I can help you with your mask right here.
It's
Under your nose, right?
yeah.
No smiling.
I promise I'm not doing
It's the number one reason it's smiling, is it opens the seal right under your nose. Let me see. It's all set up right. Everything's looking right where it needs to be. Oh, no, it's probably a little too tight. Let's loosen this up a little bit.
I thought you had to have it tight so it would feel.
Oh, no. Okay, give that a try. Sometimes when it's too tight, it actually peels the seal back.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All you need is just a light seal. If you breathe in once through your nose, if it's airtight, it's watertight. Give that a try. How you doing?
Good.
You having fun?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
All right. So there's a really cool one right down below us. It's called a parrotfish. Those parrotfish are really cool. They actually eat the coral and then poop sand. True story.
Does the fish stay forward in the morning?
It just depends. There's nocturnal fish and then there's diurnal fish. So the ones that are up in the day, these guys are eating all day. I don't know. I don't know if they have a schedule, if they eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or if they just grind all the time. I think that they just eat whenever they feel like it. Most of these fish in the crater eat algae, which grows on the reef. That's how they keep the balance. They used to feed the fish off all these boats, and the fish used to eat chicken and muffins and chips and all kinds of junk food that people would throw off, and they neglected eating the algae. And then the algae overgrew the reef, and it kind of choked out the reef, so it really messed up the whole balance of the crater. That's why it's perfect. Our timing is perfect.
For what?
For having the crater all to ourselves.
I mean, our people.
Oh no, they're just going back. You want to go back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very sparkling if I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you just were snorkeling.
Okay, so awesome. This is gonna count as I didn't do anything. It's gonna count because I just laid on the surfboard. But I didn't stick my head underwater. Well, you stuck your face in the water. That's cool. Yeah, with the mask and everything.
we always take people that don't like to go or have never been or are scared or don't know how to swim. We always get them in the water. We take them just like this, a little tour.
Cool, that was really awesome.
And you got to experience something that you wouldn't have otherwise. Good job. Nothing wrong with that. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you doing? You want me to hang on to that for you? I'm going to hold those for you while you get all situated. There you go. All right. How's it going? All right. great frigates, or Eva birds. In Hawaiian, Eva means thief. Those birds have a big beak. They can swoop down and snatch fish off the surface, but they are unable to dive into the water. So they wait for the smaller birds to dive into the water, grab fish, and come out with a fish in their beak. And then they swoop down and steal the fish right out of their mouth. That's why the Hawaiians called them the Eva bird. you getting in? You mean the video that I'm shooting right now? For the travel agency? Yes. Sure.
We're going for a swim. Come on. Come for a swim.
I'm filming right now. That's why I didn't say it. It was awesome though. Alright, I'm making a documentary for her travel agency.